See, things have come to head, time out for scare you, scary route today. And follow us down Courage Lane, they cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefin' on a pound a day, but not talking intoxicating rage, not this is far more tragic than what's comprehended. This has got to stop. I don't understand everything as a man. I'm authorized by God to make this petition. Believe it, especially when you hate and aim to kill a man.
TOTB. Allow us to reintroduce ourselves.
Hey.
Back in the building, man. Welcome back to the dopest podcast in the streets. TOTB, thinking outside the box. We're so glad y'all back to rock with us. Season 3 is in full effect, man. Be sure you go like, share, comment, subscribe to every episode, especially this episode. You can go find us on YouTube, TOTB the Dopest, and on Instagram, TOTB the Dopest, man. Same 4 guys up here, man. Of course, we got a lovely guest. We're going to get into that in a second, man. But definitely want to thank everybody for tuning back in to the show, man.
Yes,
our faithful followers, man. We got a lot to talk about. I know it's summertime shy. We're going to get into all that, man. But first and foremost, thank y'all for rocking back with us, man. We got a lot of people all over the world checking out the show. Shout out to our people in Texas and Atlanta, everywhere, man. We love y'all. We rock with y'all, man. Of course, we can't forget about our people in Chi-Town, man. You know, we love y'all, man. So let's get to it. Of course, you see the fingers on the platform. The man sitting directly across from me, man, needs no introduction, man. The holy man himself. Say, what's up? Where can they find you, bro?
And shout out great people, Holy Grind. You can find me at Holy Grind on Instagram.
You know, right next to him, man, the philosopher, B Scholar. What's up? Where can they find you, Brody?
Black_IG.
There it is. The man next to him that makes me look like an angel.
Yes, I do.
Moolah Monster, man. What's up? Where can they find you, bro?
Moolah Monster Collection on Instagram. Check me out.
There it is. And of course, I'm Reggie Moving Forward. You can find me at the NASSOCIETY or simply Reggie Moving Forward on Facebook. And we are
Thinking Outside the Box.
So, our lovely followers out there, I don't normally have beautiful women next to me like this, man. This is a plus, you know. I want to introduce you guys to the very smart, very talented, the very knowledgeable Sicerelycedrinna, man. So let's give her a hand clap, man, to the show. Welcome. Tell the people what's up and where can they find you?
So my name is Sicerelycedrinna. I go by Sincerelycedrinna on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram. I do not have a Facebook, but my business does. I own an all-male luxury accessory line called Grandeur Rose. We specialize in high-end male accessories, so ties, money clips, wallets, shades, everything you can think of. Personally, for me, I call myself a philanthropist. I operate a nonprofit called Shea Foundation, which stands for Cedrina Humphrey's Academic Excellence. I work with at-risk teenage youth on the south side of Chicago. So be sure to follow me for my podcast, Sincerelycedrinna, which will be coming soon at the end of the summer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to the plug.
I'm talking about.
That's a whole vibe right there.
Yes,
man.
indeed.
Yes.
Y'all better go follow this girl, man. I'm telling you, man, doing big things around the city and around the world pretty soon, man.
Right.
So look, if this is your first time to the show, first of all, welcome. All right. We are in season 3 full effect. We talk about a lot of stuff, man. We talk about a lot of trending topics, a lot of relationship stuff, just in general, right? It's summertime shy, so there's a lot going on. There's been a lot of stuff going on with, just in the world in general, right?
Yes,
but if this is your first time checking out the show, what we do is we got a hot topic, man. But my man, Holy Grind, is the one to introduce the topic. So, bro, what we talking about today?
So what it is today, listen, we're gonna talk about something that's very delicate. It's a very delicate situation. The title of today's show is Death Row. Death Row, and that's DEATH space ROE. And what we are addressing is the overturn of the Roe-vs-Wade law, whereas it allowed women to the ability to have abortions up to their second trimester, which I believe is up to like 23 or 26 weeks, I believe, right?
Okay.
Something like that. To that, and it was an overturn of it. And in that overturn, there are some states who are already getting ready, or who are getting ready to put in a law where it's basically illegal to have an abortion. And it's a lot of people this in the uproar about it. You got a lot of people who feels like as we done brought it in, that's what we call it death row, as it has been overturned and it has stopped allowing such access for women to allowing women access to get abortions. A lot of people are mad because they feel like a woman should be able to do what she want to do with her body. But we here to talk about it.
Ooh-wee.
Because is that a woman doing what she want to do with her body? And is that what they're doing? Are they preventing a woman from doing what she want to do with her body? Also, we want to address how do everybody feel on the panel about the abortions or being pro-life or whatnot, and as well as we gonna interact with y'all. Y'all know I got the phone in my hand, so I'm gonna be talking to y'all. Some of y'all gonna be talking crazy and going off on me, but I'm ready for it. So we gonna talk about it.
Okay, so of course there's gonna be one of them shows. I'm just let y'all know right now. Leave my car alone. Okay, don't do nothing to my car. The views and opinions of thinking outside the box is just of us giving our opinion, right? So we want to talk about this, man, for real. So when I heard about the news, guys and young lady, I'll admit, I'll be honest, I was a little shocked, just a little bit, because statistics is my thing, right?
Yeah.
So over the last 10 years, something told me to look this up. Over the last 10 years, the number of abortions has raised, not by a couple numbers, not by hundreds, not by thousands over the last 10 years. Abortions has raised by thousands. And this is all over the world. This isn't in Chicago.
Okay.
So it got me to thinking like, okay, what was the main reason why they decided to change this? You know what I'm saying? Was that something to do with it, or could have been another agenda? Now we know that, as some of us are Christians or whatever, populating the world is something that we're supposed to do. Especially as a man. But women have, in my opinion, the choice to bring in life. A man can get a woman pregnant, but a woman has the last say so whether to bring a child in this life. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get the thinger's opinion on it. Be sure y'all comment, man, and tell us what you think about this topic, because it's definitely heat in the kitchen. But
yes, indeed.
Let's get the opinion of the lady
first.
I knew that.
Ladies first. Oh.
Ladies first.
Okay.
What do you think about this? And honestly, you can, be candid and say how you feel. They ain't gonna mess with your car, nothing. But how do you feel about this situation, man? Honestly.
So beyond what I feel, what I believe is, and what you said about statistics is so big. So I'm a numerical person, right? But before you get to numbers, behaviors precede the numbers.
Ooh.
So when you say like it's a woman's choice, I am pro-choice. And I do believe that when people think it's pro-choice versus pro-life, when you think about taking the choice away from a woman, that's where it gets a little ick for me.
Okay.
Now, when you say it's only a woman's choice, I'm a little bit on the opposite end of that. I think men have a choice too. You have the choice to choose who you sleep with. You have a choice to wear a condom. You now have a choice to be on birth control. Like you have choices as well. So I do believe, women may have the end all be all choice, but I'm a little traditional Christian faith-based. I believe a man leads the situation. Now, if you're not a leader, that's a whole separate different story.
Okay.
But a man leads the situation. So in the event that the end all be all choice is a woman, when they overturned it, was I surprised? No, because this is America. This is America. And you have to go beyond even the statistics and look at the behaviors of when abortion came about, how it came about, the history behind Planned Parenthood, the history behind, the black family and the black woman multiplying versus the white woman, and women's suffrage and women's rights. And it's a lot of pieces, and we just don't have enough time to really go into fully my thought of it. But was I surprised? No, because that's just the first thing that they're about to touch. Because if they will reach back and get something so, to me, fundamental, which is the foundation of livelihood and society, they're going to start touching a lot of different stuff. A lot of different stuff. I think about just not only women, grown women having babies. I think of Ruby Bridges. Now we about to get into racial things beyond gender. Like, you have to realize, like, this political thing is getting real pungent right now in the world. So am I surprised? No. But I hope it does wake up a lot of women to, you know, having a baby is one choice, but we also have the choice to be educated as women, you know, to travel, to be even more than just mothers. So I truly believe the women that are like, oh, you know, if you believe in abortion, you're terrible. No, not necessarily. But when I hear, you know, pro-life, I think, you know, pro-rapist, sometimes pro-incest, because it's a lot of situational things that it takes the choice from women that landed in that position because they didn't have it, because they was forced.
That's a heavy take right there. I don't got no response to that. Yeah, you got to. Well, Brian, go ahead, man.
Well, I'm pro-life, but just the thing about pro-choice and pro-life is not something to be enforced. Like, I can't enforce pro-life. Of course, it's your choice to do what you want to do. You know, I'm pro-life based off what my faith base. You know, and he said, but God said, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So before you even formed in your mother's womb, that child already was predestined and has a purpose here on this earth. You know, of course, you have unfortunate incidents where you find rapes and things like that come about, and people say, well, what about somebody that's been raped or whatnot? Well, that still has nothing to do with the child. Now, mind you, they say, well, what if this is my thing. Dealing with a society or a system that has put this in place, I already believe they should have much firmer laws on rapes, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, when you make a decision like this to overturn it and say, women shouldn't have access to abortions and much like that, well, first of all, that's really not telling the woman what to do with her body, because the woman ain't the one doing the abortion. It's somebody else doing the abortion. So what they doing, they stopping the procedure. They not saying that the woman can't do what she want to do with her own body when we really think about it. And you put it in the literal text. However, I think about people that's been raped and children that's been molested and things like that. And I think that it should be an accountability on the system. Whereas if you have a person that's been raped and you say, okay, well, we're not allowing them access to get abortions, I think it's the system job to pay for the health care for that mother and for that child. I think it's the system job, the system job to say, man, this child gonna go to school free. You know what I mean? Like, they gonna be able to go to school, you know, from you having this baby, because we was put on the earth to be fruitful and multiply. Unfortunately, you have statistics show you got over 400,000 rapes that happen a year. And some of them with intercourse, some of them almost intercourse. But they say about 400, the statistics show it's like 400 or some thousand. Out of that, I think they say it's like a 1 to 5% chance of pregnancy within that. However, you have a lot of abortions that don't come from rape, where people just want to make the choice to lay down with somebody, get pregnant, and then decide to abort the child. Well, we got to have much more social responsibility, to whereas we're going to choose, you know, not to be around here so fluently having sex with everybody. You know, it's a responsibility on the man as well.
I think that'll tighten it up.
Yeah.
Let me add something. So,
Come on, Scott.
Roe versus Wade was enacted in 1972. So it haven't been here forever. It's really like 50 years, mainly in all of our lifetime. So then we have to ask the question: is, you know, what did the people before that, were they in such an uproar? Now we know that they had these abortions and different type of things that they fixed themselves. But my question is, to put it in context, have we talked to the women that really, you know, who had the abortions? Is this something? Because a lot of times some people regret having abortions, right? You know, and so have we ever spoke to them? And then I always put it like this, and I'll land the plane real quick. Sometimes laws have to be changed or revisited because of the abuse. So what I mean by that is that when you were talking about the statistic, it's a tool, but have we abused the ability to have an abortion? The reason why I say that is because we got the whole dusty niggas, you know, conversation going on where we got women, you know, with all these different type of men. So are women using this to avoid having responsibility on who they choose as a partner. Now, for me, the Black community needs to have a reset. So the next time you go out and you think about juggling 4 guys, you might want to consider, is he worthy enough to produce? Because if you ask these women sometimes, oh, was your baby daddy worthy of being your husband? And sometimes you'll hear, well, you know, we just grew apart, but you gave him 3 babies around here, right?
And now you don't even hear that. Now they just doing this socially. They not even looking to be
So
growing apart, being together to grow apart.
Right. So I ain't in the, you know, I don't want to, you know, I think we be mixing 2 different things. You know, rape is one other thing. You know, the ability to have abortions whenever you want to is another thing. But I think our community needs to have a reset.
Yeah.
So maybe our choices, you know, I know Trojan stock had to go through the roof, right?
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? Like
it still ain't went nowhere. You would think, but it ain't changed nothing.
But
if AIDS ain't stop it.
Right. So is the Black community really in an uproar about not having the ability to have abortion?
No, because I don't think it's actually stuck. I love the angle that you took, but that's what I meant when I brought in Planned Parenthood. And a lot of Black people don't even know what that was at the time that it was introduced as a way to control our population. So I love your point of one woman kind of jumping around to 4 different guys, but let's flip the number. You could have one guy that impregnated 4 girls and told all 4 to go get an abortion.
Because Margaret Sanger...
Now that raises the statistic on the other end.
See, Margaret Sanger planted abortion clinics in our community, but fertility clinics in the other community. So, you know...
Well, that's what it's all about, really. It's politics really so much. And we got old men deciding on women's faith. It's crazy, right?
You say old man?
Old men.
Yes,
okay.
old men.
They
want us to vote. They want to,
Okay.
And, you know, it's so politics because these are Bush and Trump guys, really, who voted for this. You know what I'm saying? Who they appoint. So we got to understand that this is going to happen regardless. That's hit us right now. But that's what I want to say. It's a population thing also. So we already know it's more white women getting abortions.
Yes.
Well, that's the reason why. That's the reason why they institute. It have nothing to do with our people, because that's all part of the plan, a part of depopulation, depopulating. You know, the world and us being ahead of it.
Really the Hispanics who they really like, we're gonna catch them. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. We ain't even close.
Well, we all disagree with that.
That's different.
We are them are people anyway. When you really think about it.
Well, I'm gonna just be told they are having multiple numbers, but that could be fixed. They just stop immigration.
I was just gonna say,
if they want to.
They have the power just to shut off the water.
They don't want to do that.
Yeah, they didn't try.
They ain't really tried. That's a lie. They ain't tried, bro. They don't want us or them to go nowhere. It's still a slave mentality. They still got a slave mentality for our master's mentality. Whereas if they go somewhere, then who gonna work for us? Who we gonna make our money off of? They don't want us to go.
They're the labor force, and we no longer want to work those jobs. Exactly. So we got to put it in context, and they're here to better their lives, whether we agree with it or disagree with it. We're no longer that labor force.
Ho. Right. We still that labor force. We may not be in that field.
We're not physical labor. We're mental labor.
Exactly.
We still physical labor too, because they the ones that run the institutions that we work under. It's just a different role. We still are laborers. There's many of us.
We're not major though.
But we're not the majority.
We're not the majority labor.
It's the quality over the quantity.
Right.
I believe the asset that white America gets from Black people is this. That's why they've been so structural with trying to break this. Right. And then we break through it. Right. But I get what you're saying about Hispanics and Black people, us being all the same, but to white supremacy, they deem them a higher asset for them than what we could be for them.
Not necessarily, because we got the strongest spending dollar.
That's factual. But now we were talking about the producer aspect of labor. But I get what you're saying on the consumer side.
But they definitely, as far as consumption, they know whatever. All you got to do is look at it. What do they when you got all these entertainers and these rappers running around with these high end people with they fashion on, and all they do is put it on the rapper, put it out there, and then we got people that spend their whole checks and get all this money and they'll spend it on them. They know that the money comes from us. The majority of it comes from us. We have our dollar power is so strong, and they know that. So yeah, they do take our ideas. They do know that we are the salt of the earth. We are God's people, and they do utilize that. But they also know, as far as our spending power, they know that too. So that's why they don't want us to go nowhere either. And we still working those other jobs. We just may not be working in that field, but there's other jobs that we work where that we prosper from as well. That prosper them even more, such as entertainment. When you look at basketball, if they paying basketball players, listen to what I'm saying though. If they paying basketball players, football players, and they paying them $100-some million, how much you think they making? If they, you know what I'm saying? If they paying entertainers, they making $50-60 million. How much you think the one who own it make it? You know what I mean? They making a lot more money off of us.
I get what you're saying. You're talking about entertainment labor.
Right.
I thought we were talking about communal labor, as far as blue collar or white collar. Because for those of us that went to school, they probably still give Hispanics a job over me because they speak Spanish. And they may not. I have 2 degrees. They probably barely made out of high school, but the fact that they have something that they deem to be an asset because they know a lot of them are over here, whether they're documented or not.
Right.
And yes, we do have a good spending dollar. Our output is wonderful. Our input is terrible.
Exactly.
Hispanics, they're going to wash it back in their communities. They're going to send it all the way back home.
So dealing with us, and we talking about, if you say we're not the laborers anymore, then what jobs do we have?
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
We were once the labor force. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Well, hear me out. We were once the labor force, and there's really no need for us now. That's why we're being warehoused. What do I mean by being warehoused? We're being incarcerated. So a percentage of us are being incarcerated.
But don't you know that's the labor force too?
No. Well, am I right?
Am I right?
Right, but
it's slavery.
Right. It's
even cheaper when you go to prison. You working. They got a lot of industrial.
No, but what I'm saying is you're being warehoused and you're able to work and produce money for something that does not give you a return.
But what I'm saying, when you're talking about labor, we still are. What I'm saying is, if we say that they are the labor force now, when we say that, and I need y'all to understand this, if we say they're the labor force now, then where are we working at making our ends meet?
We're
continuing to be creatives. Like you say, either we're the entertainment and we don't own our craft, or we're now getting into what we're doing now. Like people using social media, entertainment.
So nobody here works a job?
No, but we talking about there are certain percentages.
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you work a 9 to 5?
Yes.
I came from a 9 to 5 coming out of
and that's what I'm saying. We work 9 to 5, so we still part of that labor force. We just switch positions. They in a different field, but we're still part of the labor force that feeds them at the top. We're still part of that. They want us not to think that. Yeah, we will utilize our man to do things like we doing now to take us further and to try to advance more. But it's even harder then because even our own people don't support us as such. But we are still part of the labor force. We're just in a different field.
Wait, here's the thing. I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Roe-vs-Wade affects us, but it's really not about us. No, it's about the dominant society who and we should have brought. They were limiting the amount of children that they were having based off of future gains, like 1 and 2 and different things like that. And their numbers and their impact in the community is being affected by that. I'm talking about the dominant society, the larger population. So they got together and said, we have to stop this. You understand what I'm saying? The Hispanics or Latinos, whatever you want to say, they're not affected. They're populating just on schedule. But they're not even a problem because we could deport them. We could do anything type of them. We know how to manage them.
Yes.
Black people, we're populating, but we no longer have family or community. And we don't have to abort ourselves because we kill ourselves at such a rapid number.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
So we don't have to abort each other. We kill each other, right? And we cannot dispute these facts. So when we say, oh, white people making decisions, white people going to continue to make decisions because we don't want to make decisions. we don't want to be responsible.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
We don't want to be judges or lawyers or push through that so we can have a seat at the table. Some of us do. You know what I mean? And if you look at the statistics, some of these people that do sit at the table are majority immigrants, black immigrants, not foundational black immigrants.
But let's deal with
But they deteriorate the desire, like bring it to the circle. I totally agree with what he said. Whether it's they're locked up, right, or they can barely find a job. That's what makes the black woman who chooses to try to have a black family go and get an abortion because she's still going. Her man can't find no job. She can't have government assistance and have him, or he's in and out of jail.
Exactly.
Whether that's by choice or by force.
Right. So there's no power in that. That's not a threat right there. The structure is in disarray. But
and in agreement with that, I believe that while they making it seem like our community is in an uproar, when in actuality I don't think so, because it was not really, like you said, it wasn't aimed at us. Exactly. It was aimed because it backfired, because initially it was given as a resource for our women to abort our children.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
It was the initial tool designed.
You know what I'm saying? They made us out to be, and that's the biggest problem, where we have to take a responsibility as men, not just to look to wed our women and to raise a family according to how God sees fit, but also to protect our women. You know, you got so many people that know you can have it's just crazy how you can have a group of young men that know a young lady is in position, one of our sisters in position, knowing that she's about to be raped, and nobody does nothing or nobody says nothing. Or they look at it as, or they put that thing up on a pedestal like, man, they all ran through her, knowing that y'all got a drunk or y'all dropped something in a drink, and then y'all take pride in that. And it all was a setup. So now, okay, well, we get them to do that, get them to get abortion. She might get abortion. She might die at the abortion. She might not never be able to have kids again. But then that's another child that could have been brought into this world. It could have changed the whole dynamic of things. Because no matter how the child was conceived, it could have been that child that came through to fight against such things such as rape. It could have been that child that came through to pull that family up out of poverty. Yeah. You know what I mean? We don't know if we just take that stand. That's why I say, I'm okay with it. I do understand that some women not. I understand why, but I'm okay with the fact, because I believe let God have His way. Pray to His will to be done. Trust in the Lord. You know, a lot of people don't have faith as such, but I do. You know, but I understand. You know, I understand in this totality. But it's heartbreaking to know that we have so many people who are upset about creation.
Yeah.
Like, we so in love with death that we are upset.
We don't honor life.
We
don't honor life
at
all. But like you said, I'll take it all the way back. It's a women's thing because it's pro-choice, but it really go back, like you said, the man is supposed to provide, protect, but really he's also supposed to prepare the woman as well, pour into the woman as well. Right. A lot of these women make that choice because they've never seen any other choice. Because it's breaking down the mentality, but it goes back to having that faith. And unfortunately, especially us as chosen people, Black people, we're so detached from the Creator and what His purpose was for us. We can't see it in that manner. So we don't honor our life, and we're here. Yeah. So what do we care about something that's not here yet?
Let's because once again, thank you guys for tuning in back to Thinking Outside the Box. Like I said, this topic can be so heavy. But to wrap it up, because we're going to do something different with this show, but to wrap up this topic, I hope this wakes up our nation, the overall message, to be more responsible.
Yeah.
You know, like, even if you're dealing with somebody sexually, you know, be cognizant enough to been dating them for a while, or know his family, his mama or something. You know what I'm saying? Don't just have the rate of one night stands that ends in pregnancy is high.
Yeah.
You know, so let's be more responsible. Let's use protection. Let's use birth control. Let's
tighten up.
Work on your pullout game. I don't know. I mean, let's
how about look to establish a family?
There you go.
Before you birth, build. That's the issue. Even beyond one night stands, a lot of situationships. People are in short-term, long-term relationships, and you know you never saw yourself having kids with these people. You haven't built anything, and let alone be privileged to birth anything. Period.
Stop giving yourself to people that ain't worthy of you, male and female.
Give yourself to God. First of all, give yourself to God. And find yourself before you find a partner. And then a Planned Parenthood. All that other stuff.
Hallelujah. Okay, so look, we gonna do, cause look, man, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I wanna say, the letters that we've been receiving has been overwhelming. We love y'all, so we're gonna get to some of these letters. But before we do, Brian, it's about that time.
Man, it's about that time. Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug.
Man, today we got a very special shout out. I want to shout out Grandeur Rose.
Man.
Listen here, I'm going to just show y'all a little bit of this, a little something.
Just a little tad bit.
Just a little something.
Look at that, man.
Where we at, man? Look, man.
Try to tie on camera. Show the people.
Let's get this going real quick.
Hold
on. 2.
All right.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, so what he is wearing is our signature black tie from Grandeur Rose. It is 100% Italian silk.
Nice.
Okay? Made personally for you. I did give the fellas a gift for having me on as a guest. So they're going to give an honest review of it and let you guys know how it is. But I don't put out nothing that's not quality. And every tie that is purchased on GrandierRose.com, I match the tie that is purchased from a consumer and I donate a tie to the defendants at Cook County. So I do believe whether you are a free man or not, you deserve to look like what you are, which is a king. When you look good, you feel good. So make sure you shop.
I appreciate it. We need it. You know, I'm definitely gonna be shopping, but I'm always looking for men accessories.
I like
that. Man, tell them again where they can find you one more time.
Yes, so my handles are Sincerelycedrinna. Cedrinna is spelled Cedrinna. My male luxury company is Grandeur Rose, and my nonprofit is ShadeFoundation.org.
Grandeur Rose. Man, y'all check out, man. Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug.
That's heavy. So look, man, we do this segment called What's in That Bag? A segment that has kind of trended along, a lot of different platforms and things like that. Has gotten Grind and Moolah called a couple names, but that's cool. So what it is you guys write a letter. You let us know what's going on in your life. Put a guess. They tell us what's going on in their personal life, right? And we give them our best advice possible to try to help their situation. And a lot of times we give great advice. Sometimes we don't, but most times we do.
As long as it's honest advice.
It's always honest advice. It's always honest.
Honest.
So we're going to read 2 today, all right? The first one I feel like is a whole lot going on. Okay.
Get in there.
It's a whole lot going on. So y'all be sure, y'all comment, let us know what you think. Fellas, young lady, be sure to think outside the box with your answers, okay?
I live outside the box.
Oh, heavy stuff. All right, let's get into it. Okay, it says, hello, Black Kings. This is Tina, and I admire the perspectives of the panel that you present, and I enjoy the laughter as well. The segment on the podcast where Mr. Moving Forward, I think that's me, reads letters on air is particularly interesting, and I'm intrigued to hear your point of views on a situation I have encountered. All right, let's get into it. I broke up with my ex a year ago for various reasons, and since then he's moved on and is now engaged. The woman he is engaged to is my ex-best friend, whom I found out he was sleeping with while we were together. Yes, I was hurt at first, but after cutting both of them off, I have been doing good without either of them in my life. Recently, my ex-best friend reached out to me to try to make amends and invite me to the wedding. I said no because I was still in my feelings. After a while, at the gas station, I saw her father, who was really close to my ex-boyfriend. We chatted for a bit and exchanged social medias. Since then, we've been chatting online often, and he convinced me to go on dinner with him, which we ended up being intimate afterwards.
Her
now
father?
her father.
I think this.
Her best friend's father.
Right.
Now, after a month, I found out that I am now pregnant by my old best friend's father.
You know abortion now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be clear.
Yeah.
I do not want to keep this baby. But
Wade.
he really does. Don't get me wrong. I think her father, my best friend's father, I think he is a great guy. I did want to have a baby one day, but with my husband. But y'all tell me, would I be wrong for having a baby by my ex-best friend's father a year after she took my man from me? Think outside the box.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a lot going on in that letter.
Shit.
Tina.
So Tina, we're going to give our best advice. Guys, young lady, please keep it brief because I know we want to go in, but what's y'all advice, man? Think outside the box. She's pregnant by her ex-best friend's father a year after her ex-best friend took her man from her and now engaged to her ex-man. Do you think she should keep this child?
She might have to keep the baby after this new law, right?
Well, in the state of Illinois, she can still get an abortion.
Oh, okay.
I understand. Oh, no, that is correct. That is correct. And I believe she's in Illinois.
Well, Tina, you got lucky.
You're blessed.
Tina's going to keep
Jesus.
You said she's going to keep it?
She's going to keep it. I believe wholeheartedly. And that could be wrong, but Tina, it sounds like to me, and I'm going to give you my reason why.
Come on, man.
It sounds like that you did that
on
purpose.
purpose.
And the reason I'm going to say that is because
maybe not the pregnancy, but
I'm going to say.
You don't think the pregnancy?
No, she slept with him on purpose.
She slept with him on purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
And 9 times out of 10 got pregnant on purpose. I mean, most women know when it's around that time.
Oh, man.
But check this out. I'm going to just say this. Maybe she didn't, maybe she did. But the fact that she's talking about her stealing her boyfriend.
She's still hung up on.
Why not just address the fact that you're pregnant by your ex-best friend's father? Why did you bring up all the extra about what she did?
Oh, man.
Now, if you would have just asked about going to the wedding, I would have been like, I feel I could forgive you and not go. I'm not finna come to no wedding. I know you was sleep. You shouldn't go nowhere. You know he was sleeping with her while y'all was together. Like, that was foul. That was super foul.
Okay.
That was super foul. Now, you getting with her daddy ain't foul if y'all truly like each other and y'all in love. I mean,
that's not
y'all
foul.
grown. I'm not saying that's foul.
Okay.
But it's just something like, for you mentioning that situation, it just leaves
the look
me
on
to
her face is like.
I would let the video talk first. I went first and last time. I let the video talk first. Tina, we gonna talk.
Tina.
Now, you be like, this your brother, this your sister.
And that's at the wedding. Announce it at the wedding.
Hey, you might
announce it at the wedding.
Maybe y'all might get married. Now you'd be a mama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no,
that was the ultimate revenge plot.
Hey.
Ooh, Scholar, what you got, man?
This one, I don't know. I'm gonna go with grind. It's a little bit complicated. I think she may have did that to kind of, get some attention or, create some type of emotion, and the people that kind of hurt her. But now it didn't kind of escalated where she's dealing with a pregnancy. Real talk, and I really don't agree with this, and I hate to kind of say this, but if you're not gonna care for the child and you just creating the whole circus. Normally I don't do this, but you might should just get the abortion.
Oh, heavy take.
Because I just think of the kid.
I get it.
Growing up in a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, finding out how it's all connected.
Right. Okay. And if there's not any love there, what that could turn out to be. So
okay, moolah. Let's brace ourselves.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel Tina, name Tina, right?
Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Tina. Shit, girl. I think they need to first of all, Lifetime off TV.
Oh, man.
BT Plus, all that needs to go.
Yeah.
Like, this is straight from TV. What is you doing, Tina? But it's like I said before, a lot of these chicks, man, they be from the streets and they get in these relationships and they get toxic, man, and it's sad too. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people in this triangle, and then she went with daddy. She went with saggy balls, right?
Right. Here we go.
He got to be at least 60 plus.
We don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking. Tina, you could probably,
Come on, I had kids at 16 too, so he made
Right.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe it's not that much of an age gap
Yeah.
I don't think so.
between the dad and the daughter.
There was some sugar with daddy. There was some sugar.
No, she could be in her 20s.
Oh, she could be in her she could be 32. He could be,
52
is still her daddy, her best friend daddy though, man.
But he probably.
I be thinking that'd be. I be thinking that'd be certain women's fantasy too. Like when they young to get with an old guy. You know what I'm saying? 20 plus. That's what I think. But I don't know, Tina. Go ahead and have a baby. Shit, pro life. Ride with you. Go ahead.
Come on, sweetheart. What you got?
I totally agree with the toxicity. I do believe that for her father to do that, the father has been attracted to his daughter's friend, which is depending on the age gap, that could be a little weird within itself. Yep. And maybe the dad knowing that his daughter was wrong. The dad probably knew the daughter was sleeping with the friend's boyfriend the whole time and waiting for his end. I do believe if she was going to go with Lifetime, toxicity, love, and hip hop, you should have slept with the ex-boyfriend's daddy then if you just wanted a revenge plot. Because you doing it with the friend.
That's the
shout out to the daddies. Keep it
shout out to the daddies.
But that's what you should have done. But so to me, it seems like she was more hurt and betrayed by her best friend than the actual man. You maybe subconsciously, I'm gonna give you an out, Tina. Maybe you did not consciously fall on her daddy's lap, but the daddy, being an old player, he probably swindled in. You vulnerable, so it could have been, like I said, the boyfriend's daddy. It could have been his homeboy, because how some men are. It could have been anybody, because she's vulnerable. She's still hurt. She's saying that she's over it, but you're not over it, because you preluded the climax of the story with all of the stuff that really doesn't matter. So if you really love her father, then have the baby so the baby can be raised around love. But if it's going to be nonsense, you need to take advantage of living in the state of Illinois, and you need to make a choice. And then after that, make a little bit better decisions, mama. That's it. With love.
With love.
With love.
With love.
Did I say mine with love?
The women be sticking together, man.
Well, no, because they'll let y'all talk crazy and be shit.
Let me give Tina. Okay. So I want to break down this letter a little bit before we go on to the next one. Okay, so started off, she broke up with her guy for various reasons she quoted, right? Then she said he's now engaged with her ex-best friend. I think she already knew that's the reason she broke up with him.
If
is because
she even
of
broke
that.
up with him.
So that part, right?
That's the ego.
So the ex-best friend asked her to come. She wanted to make amends. She wanted to come to the wedding. She says no, because she's still in her feelings. Directly after that,
she had to get somebody.
She ran into her father.
Within the same year.
Right.
Met her with him, had dinner with him, had sex with him. A month later, got pregnant. This is what my point I'm trying to make. When I say about being responsible when it comes to having, you gotta be responsible, man. Like, this ain't high school. You can't play tit for tat. Oh, bitch, you took my man. I'm gonna do something to you. This is a baby that we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? I think about all the time. And when it comes to this topic, what if that was me? What if my mom was deciding about getting rid of me because some shit happened with whatever dude? You see what I'm saying? Or another child. I think that, Tina, I feel like you should have this baby. Now, what happens after that, if you get stole on, jumped on, or whatever, okay, you gonna have to take that. That's an L you got to take. But that's not that child's fault that you was reckless out here after a month of having dinner, spaghetti with a dude, and you got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm not throwing no shade. I'm just saying we have to be more responsible. So you decided to lay down with this man unprotected.
No morning after pill.
You decided that, so you have to live with the consequences. I feel like you should have the baby and then live with the consequences afterwards. I mean, that's just my opinion. Now, I agree with some of their opinions, but that's just, I feel like she did that. She kind of did that on purpose.
But she said she was still in her feelings, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She probably subconsciously did it. A lot of women, I'm going to speak for women, I'm going to be honest with y'all, a lot of women, they play this whole tough thing, all this other stuff. Women are vulnerable by nature. And when you try to go against nature, that's when it get real.
That's when nature.
That's when nature will rise up on you every time. So she was still hurt by that situation. I think the salt in the wound was the friends having the audacity to kind of put it in her face and bring her closer to it. Mm-hmm. Maybe the universe was kind of aligned and you ran into the daddy. The daddy had the time to shoot his shot. You never know, the daddy about to lose his daughter because now she's about to become someone else's leading lady. He might want a child and someone back in the house. It's so many, it's so much intersectionality in it, but I do believe she didn't purposely do it. She just subconsciously made a poor decision because she was in her feelings.
But and don't this make sense? I just want to ask this question: like, when somebody do you wrong, when somebody do you wrong like that, in that instance, wouldn't you try to do everything in your power not to even have to be around them? So why get intertwined with somebody that's as close to somebody that done you wrong?
Well, a strong-minded person.
Exactly, you're not in your right mind.
A strong-minded person will use his will to fight against that. But when women initially get hurt, their defenses are down, and they're not even recognizing the behavior that they administer.
They so internal, they don't see the external.
Because it's a period of rage and there's a period of sadness. No, so in the first 30 days, she activated that hate.
And that's what I'm getting at. So that's why I think like it was
she planned it.
She planned it.
Subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
Subconsciously.
Well, Tina,
if not, I apologize, Tina.
We hope that we helped you out a little bit with your dilemma. But the overall message is, hurt people, So, I mean, I get it, but that shouldn't be the child's fault.
And the reality is Tina is surrounded around love, right?
Yeah. The father. Right.
That just sounds confusing.
No, but it's the truth. Right. He wants it. So it's a blessing in disguise. If her friend wouldn't have did that and freed her of that man that was obviously sleeping with her friend, she'd have got pregnant by him and he'd have been sending her to the clinic. So, I mean,
Shorty could be the next LeBron.
Like you said, the baby might be the blessing. The baby might be the blessing.
Hey, she may bring the relationship back between you and your ex-best friend. Wow. She is going to be her sister or a brother.
That's crazy.
You want to raise a brother or sister, right?
But if you're not ready for the baby, you're not trying to deal with the daddy, you still feeling the way about the best friend, you kind of still in love with your ex, no, don't do it.
Okay, well, Tina, hopefully we help with that. Be sure to just to write back and let us know what happened with that situation, because we are curious, and we will, kind of give an update on Tina's situation. So, Tina, it's tough. Hope we helped you. Okay, so look, we got one more, and this one is, I felt this one a little bit, so let's pay attention to it, because I think all of us at one point in time, in some instance, deal with the situation. All right? Okay, here we go. What's up, guys? Love the show. Reggie, if you say my name, I'm going to kill you. I won't say your name. Anyway, let's get to my mess. I have been having weird feelings that my boyfriend of 6 years has been cheating on me. He just moves different these days. He's not attentive. He's not communicative. And once the sex starts slowing down, I knew something was up. I asked him what was the problem, and he said it was nothing but him being tired from work a lot. So I left it alone until last week. Me and him went on a date. We went on a date night that was much needed. And while we was at dinner, a girl walked up to us and accused him of being his mistress. I snapped completely out, but he kept telling me to calm down and that the girl was lying only because he didn't want nothing but friendship with her. Listen, a woman's intuition is never wrong, and I'm ready to leave his ass. I just need to know if I'm making the right decision. Give me y'all thoughts. Okay, so I definitely have an opinion on this. I feel like there's a lot of strong-minded men here that have an opinion on this. But we have to ask the lady first. What should this young lady do?
So I'm all for a woman's intuition. I'm a shake the box when I say this from the outside. When you first started off, before it got to the girl actually approached her, and where there's smoke, there is fire. He may have, and coming from a woman, typically when a man does cut off his mistress, that is when she does start to act out. So it might be a little bit of a truth and a lie in what he's saying. But my intuition was telling me in the beginning when she said he was kind of like acting weird and it wasn't the same. I feel as though us women, we have to normalize when men just ain't feeling us no more before he start actually feeling on another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Let's normalize that first.
Shout out to the church.
Okay.
Let's normalize that first. And I mean this with so much love, but it's not all the time. Y'all been together for 6 years. I'm pretty sure there was some signs and some symbols somewhere that was telling you that it was about to be some type of void in space between you guys that was going to be filled with something. It's not always, let's normalize that. It's not always another woman. Sometimes men just get tired of you, or they're just tired in general. And maybe the change that you see in him, change is not always bad. It could just be growth and him outgrowing you or the relationship. So that's what I was thinking it was.
You said it all.
At first, which it still could simultaneously be that.
Right.
And that's how the girl slipped in. And then she may have started acting like what he was trying to get away from, and now he had to get rid of her.
Oh, that's
and now y'all all clowning. Like, so I just feel like if she came to the table, she said she was the mistress. He's saying that it wasn't that, but it's obviously something. If your intuition tell you to leave, leave, because he's gonna leave eventually. He's already left.
He's already left.
He's already left.
Oh, okay.
And I agree with what you said 1,000%. I think what we think about in any type of relationship, the first thing we want to put in our mind once we say relationship, we don't think that there's going to be any type of change. So, you say the relationship, it don't supposed to never be any change. And what if he did grow apart from her?
Exactly.
What if he did just get attracted to something else?
Wow.
And he could be a bad person, but it's not so much the change that he's going through. It's more of a question, the change that you need to go through. See, a lot of people try to get in these relationships and start trying to manage other people when we can really only manage ourselves, right?
Okay.
And what she did say, instead of going into the Dr. Doolittle and investigation thing, you never really establish communication. And if you and him ain't communication, you know that there's a breakdown in the rest of the relationship. And that does not mean there's fault to be placed. It just means, are you willing to take a deeper dive to repair the relationship to see what the breakdown is? Or are you willing to just look for the red flag, you know what I'm saying, and just say, well, this is it and this is that? Because a man will get attracted to another woman if he's getting detracted from his woman.
Exactly.
It's just simple mathematics.
Grind. Jeez. Oh, wait, he got something good there. Go ahead, Moolah.
There I go. She ain't want to give her name, right?
Nope.
All right. I feel like this, right? I think he got a groupie and he ain't did nothing wrong.
That's why I want him to go.
Why do we always feel like women tell the truth?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the church.
Because if she didn't give you no information at the table that could convict him, I don't think, why is you still there if it was some, you know what I'm saying, some truth somewhere? Name something. What kind of car he drive? What he smell like? Where's mold at or shit?
Where's mold at?
You want to know, I feel like it was just a group of, I think we all got groupies and people who really want to probably break our relationships up or, just want to just get close to us. And he was at dinner and that was one of his fans. He shouldn't be the fault for that. Was her acting crazy? I don't feel like that.
Heavy take. Oh, wait.
Come
on, Brian.
That's why I wanted him to go. I knew he was going to take all the guilt away from him. And it just support what I'm finna say.
Go ahead.
Because you know how I feel. He didn't cheat on you. Y'all ain't married.
I knew he was going down. I knew he was going down.
He has not cheated on you. The problem is that you have given him too much access to you, where he don't see you as a value.
Because 6 years is too long to be a boyfriend.
It's too long. I keep telling I know I'm seeing as one of just crazy to think that we shouldn't be giving ourselves to people, even though I partake of it. I've seen the profit from you holding yourself back and desiring to be a wife, and a man desiring to be a husband, and prospering from that. And I just do believe wholeheartedly that if you wouldn't have gave so much access to gave yourself to him without making him commit to you, then you wouldn't be going through this right now. So by you dealing with what you're dealing with, the woman could be lying. How you going? You can't just base it off what she said. You can't just judge him off that, and you're not married, right. So it ain't cheating. So my thing would be, if you have a problem with it or you believe he's doing it, go talk to him. But more so than anything, you need to talk about you wanting to be married, or you want to forget about him being with somebody else, because guess what? He ain't got no ring on your finger. What you need to do is tell him, whether you with somebody else or not, if I'm not finna be the only one, you ain't finna get no more of this.
The reason they don't ask for that, because they don't have potential to be a married woman. But like, you have to set yourself apart. Most married women set themselves apart to be married.
Well, listen. She got potential. Go ahead.
You are a wife before you become his wife. Exactly. Let's talk about that. Like, you are already a wife. So what he's saying has a little bit of truth in it. And when he says, I'm gonna mix it all together, 6 years is just too long for you to not to commit to you. And I do believe, whether she's lying or not, before you even try to talk to her about what's the truth or not, talk to him about being married or not, you need to figure out what's this disconnect that you're feeling with him.
The communication.
Because it's something not gelling with the relationship. And if you're saying that over 6 years it changes, that's what happens. I'm not who I was 6 days ago, and 6 weeks ago, 6 months ago.
Piggybacking what Grind said, let's just look at the mentality. If he's dating you, he's going to get used to you, and he's not invested in you.
He's not invested.
You know what I mean? So he is going to become complacent, because it's sort of like a job. If I'm a temporary employee and I'm not really hired onto this job, right, I'm going to get tired of coming here and going through the drills and stuff like that, because I don't have anything to look for. I'm really just temporary. You get what I'm saying? But we be trying to make these make-believe relationships turn into marriage.
Exactly.
Oh, we've been living together for 10 years. That's all y'all been doing, is living together for 10 years. But he does not have he does not have the mindset that I'm really committed to you. I'm really just living with you. And that's why it's so easy for him to allow other women that get into that space access.
Or even to create that space. That's what allowed him to distance himself from you. Yes. Because he's not tied to you. A man, let me tell you something about a man. A man know what he wants. And if you allow a man to have you without committing to you, then you really do it to yourself. I'm just gonna be honest.
And your wants and desires can change as a human. So what he's saying about a permanent position, even at a job in a permanent position, they still assess you within a year.
Yeah.
And obviously that change, guys are not changing together. Or I'm gonna say, even maybe year 1 to 4, maybe he was investing in you. You just didn't have a good ROI, baby. You didn't have a return on investment where he really felt like, okay, now we at 4, 5, 6, and this not it. That's just what it boils down to. And then he tried it with the other girls.
And that's even exercised in marriage. Because then when you tied in with somebody, you may get a point in your marriage where things may be falling off. But guess what? When you invested in it, you ain't quick. You ain't got to worry about giving up. Listen, we got to do something new. That's all. We got to re-spark this thing. We got to bring it,
make a whole thing new. And in marriage,
but when you ain't got no commitment,
girlfriend, when you get a husband, women come out of the woodwork.
Yes,
that's when a man becomes most desirable.
And so,
don't nobody want your boyfriend; they want your husband.
And here's the thing: is she's more focused on
the woman,
the woman, and,
instead of her position,
instead of understanding her role in the relationship or what's happening in the relationship. She's looking for, I got you. You get what I'm saying?
But she doesn't have anything, because I do agree with him. Even if it is a groupie, a man who has a purpose and a position for you would have her so in lock, she couldn't even get that close to even approach her.
Right.
That shows he really has no respect or no rapport for what you guys have going on.
Hey, not only that, if y'all been together 6 years and he has enough time on his hands for you to assume that he's with somebody else, it's already some problems going on in the relationship. Because when you with somebody like, I get away and do what I want to do and have my own time. But for the most part, when you with somebody that long, when you got ties to somebody that long, most of the time they know what you're doing. Ain't worried about that. man, it's a sad thing, but it's just because you made yourself less valuable. You got to hold yourself accountable to make yourself known as, make him know that you're more valuable than what you have perceived yourself to be.
So, let me say this, right, before we sign off. I don't care if y'all been together 6 years, 16 years. You don't let nobody you don't know walk up to you and tell you shit.
And he shouldn't either.
You don't let nobody who you don't know come tell you nothing, and you hold that as that's what happened. Because we stated it, some of y'all stated it, women are bitter. Men are bitter too.
No, but mistresses are bitter.
Women are bitter.
Well, we call them groupies.
So
it's a better word.
You have to really take the time to evaluate. Okay, why is you telling me this? You're not trying to help me. You're not trying to. You trying to save me from? No. What is the real reason you're trying to tell me this? Because if the man said, "Look, babe, ain't nothing wrong. Okay, look, I just work been stressing me out. Okay, you know what? Let's go on a date night. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let me try to make up for it, whatever." That may be actually what happened. Because contrary to belief, a woman's intuition is not always right. It's not. It's
a woman that is in tune, her intuition is never wrong. She's not in tune.
It's right most of the time. I'll give you 60%. No, fuck that. 55% of the time, 50% is right.
First of all, it's discernment. That's what it is.
Bingo.
And if you ain't in tune, a lot of people ain't in tune with discernment because most of them ain't in tune with the Lord. I'm just gonna tell it like it is.
With themselves.
You take your discernment, okay? You take that. But you don't judge, you don't use that off what some strangers say and say, I'm leaving him. No, that's after 6 years, you don't do that. You don't throw away 6 years like that. You figure out what happened. When she would have walked up to you and told you that, you should have told your man, hey, who is that? You don't start arguing at him. Hey, who is this? Let him handle that.
Right. And black men don't cheat anyway.
Right. And the real question, you should have been stop worrying about what the female saying. You really need to have a conversation about you and him on whether y'all gonna move forward in a more meaningful relationship. You know what I mean? You worried about the minor.
Well, they're not moving at all. See,
exactly.
They're stagnant.
Yeah.
There's a block in your relationship, and because that instance happened, it kind of gave you like a I knew I was right type feeling.
Yeah.
But you still shouldn't throw away 6 years of a relationship, regardless if y'all not married or engaged, nothing. Now, you might be frustrated about that. That girl, whoever she is, you don't have all the information you need about if he actually did something. Take the time to do a little bit more digging. But don't just snap off and say, I'm going to leave him. Yeah, use just your emotions talking right now. A woman's intuition isn't always right. But you should never let nobody you don't know walk up to you and tell you nothing, man. I don't care who she is.
But Reggie, 6 years. Listen, not over the woman, but if ain't no promotion in those 6 years, you wasting your time.
Exactly.
Or the young lady might want your slot, and she see a break.
The
new girl might want your slot.
That's why they're not even dealing with the dude.
And she got the same intuition that you got, that it's a breakdown in the relationship.
Yeah.
And then once you get out the way, she gon',
Yeah, they had like a little pit stop. She's gonna jump on.
Yeah.
But me personally, I know she's anonymous. Also question if it is your boyfriend or your husband. You don't want a man that's gonna allow another woman, whether it's true or not, to walk up on you. Because while black men don't cheat, a real man, whether he's faithful or not, will have that so in check where she shouldn't even be able to do that.
No, I get it.
Because he's supposed to protect.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, we
and she might be the side chick too.
Of another situation.
And looking for an out.
6 years. Hey, 6 years, you might just be.
I like that curveball.
You might just be.
Okay, so anonymous young lady, we helped you with that situation just a little bit, man. But that is something that a lot of people go through. But take your time, man. Don't just break up with the person because you dig a little bit more deeper. Look, we have a lot in store, man. I know it's summertime. There's a lot going on in the city right now. There's a lot going on over the world, man. But please be sure you like, comment, subscribe, share all these episodes. We in season 3, almost into season 4, man. So we about to do it even bigger. One more time, let's give a hand clap to our guests. Tell them one more time where they can find you at.
You can find me at Sincerelycedrinna on Instagram, on YouTube, no Twitter, no Facebook. Follow my businesses, Granger Rose, Shea Foundation, and be sure to catch Sincerelycedrinna podcast. I specialize in motivation, inspiration, all that good stuff. So follow me and I'll follow you back.
I love it. That's heavy, man. You don't know what you did by being on this platform. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Let me say that too. Let me give you guys your flowers. Because at first when I saw it was 4 black men, I was like, oh Jesus, right now with the podcast. I said, I want a viral moment, Lord, but I don't want it like that. Because I don't want us to be arguing. And I love the fact that you guys can articulate individually, but still collaboratively create content for you guys. So I commend you, Black Kings, especially being in Chicago, just in the US, in this world during these times. Like, I applaud you and I appreciate you allowing me to come on.
Thank you.
Thanks. Many thanks. Grind, man. Tell the people where they can find you, Brody.
At Holy Grind on Instagram. Also, all streaming platforms. You look up Holy Grind on all streaming platforms.
There it is. Scholar.
Black_IG.
You know it. Moolah.
Moolah Monster Collections on IG. And look forward, we're going to our 50th episode soon. So we're going to have something big for y'all.
Big time, big time. Of course, Reggie moving forward, you can find me at the NASSOCIETY or simply Reggie moving forward on Facebook. We will see y'all next time. Until then, we are
thinking outside the box.
We'll see y'all next time, man.
See, things have come to head. Time out for scare. You scared, reroute today. And follow us down Courage Lane. They cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefing on a pound a day. But not talking intoxicating rage. Not intoxicating.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.